let's go division by division and let's look at the reset odds for winning the division.
All right.
Let's start in the AL East. We've got Toronto currently in first, 64-46. They're 3.5 up on the Yanks. They're 5 up on the Red Sox. The Rays are 10 out. I'm going to draw the line underneath the Red Sox. So right now we've got consensus odds. Blue Jays minus 175, Yankees plus 175, Red Sox plus 850. For the sake of this exercise, you've got to put $100 on a winner in every division. So where are you putting your money here?
Did you have that screen up already? Because you might want to refresh it. The odds have actually changed slightly. So
how dare you?
Yeah. Because they did change. So after the moves that the Yankees made, they went from plus 175 to plus 160.
160.
Yeah.
Okay. The Jays are down to 165.
Red Sox they are.
50.
They
okay.
are.
We don't need to edit that out, producer Tyler.
No. So you just mentioned the lead, but the Jays are 3 games up in the loss column, which is always what I personally pay attention to the loss column. So I don't know. I mean, I think the Jays have been playing, above their capability for the past 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 6 weeks. So I thought some regression was coming. The Yankees, I think was the opposite. They were playing well below what their capabilities are, and I think, again, you could have regression, both positive and negative. So I think there's some positive regression coming from the Yankees. And with the trade deadline moves that they made, I think they're going to actually pull out the division. I mean, what are your thoughts on the Red Sox? I mean, I know that they're plus 850 to win the division, which I don't know, seems kind of low, but whatever, or high, or however you want to put it. But so do we think the Red Sox are finally for real? Because they haven't been very good for a while now, but they got a lot of young guys. They finally picked up a stud ace, pitcher. They got him in the offseason. What's your take on the Sox?
I don't think they can climb back and take the division. I just don't think they're going to leapfrog both of those teams. Looking at the East, kind of to your point, the reverse regression, maybe there's an ascension here. The Yankees are 14-19 in the division. That just seems like an anomaly. They just got their ass handed to them by Toronto. So where the Sox are 20-13 with the best record in the division. So if that evens out, they're gonna stay in that 5 to maybe they claw all the way back up to 3 games. I just don't see them overtaking it. They seem like a wild card team to me, and I don't want to play them in a wild card situation. Young, hungry, fuck the Yankees. You know what I mean? Rivalry, all that stuff. I don't want to see them. I'd like somebody else to knock them out. But I do think they're legit in the way they put that team together. I think the arms are strong enough to get them wins. And, Roman seems to be the real deal, even though he's not a power hitter, but, or it's not like coming across as a power hitter. I think the power comes.
He did strike out 13 times in 16 at bats in that series in Philly a week or so ago. I mean, but whatever, that's growing pains. I mean,
it is what it is. So I don't know. So for the sake of the exercise, no issue being a homer. We only have to overcome 3 games plus 160. I'd rather take the plus odds than hold serve with the favorite.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to me, that's the better bet. So I would, you very rarely, right? I mean, we know this. You very rarely get the Yankees at plus odds. So I would take that all day. So,
yeah. This will be a quick one. Detroit has a 9-game lead over the Indians, who are terrible. Kansas City, just, definitely a disappointing year for them. They're 9.5 back. I don't see, both of those teams, if they're going to try to do anything, it's going to be try to catch the Sox for a wild card.
Right.
But, the Tigers are minus 6,000 right now. So that's a stay away division. It's a wrap.
And again, just minus 6,000 means that if you wanted to win $100 on the Tigers, you'd have to bet 6,000. You have to risk 6,000 to win 100. So for those that aren't aware, there you go.
It's like risk versus reward, baby. So that'll never get old for me. AL West, Houston has a 5-game advantage in the standings over Seattle and Texas. The Angels sneaky at 9. No one gave Trout the memo that he's not supposed to be playing after the 4th of July. So keep an eye on that situation. But Astros are minus 210, Mariners plus 290, and the Rangers plus 525. You want to get real freaky, the Angels are plus 12,500. If it was a dollar bet, I say yay, but $100, I'd say no.
Yeah,
So,
I mean they're still under 500 too. At this point in the season, I can't take somebody seriously. It's under 500.
Yeah. So I think the key call outs here for me would be in the division, Houston 16-17, Seattle's 22-16, Texas is 17-19.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Seattle just did, I'll take their ads versus Correa coming home. While that might be a nice story and some fans get the dust off the jersey, and breaking up's hard to do. Let's get back together type scenario. But I just don't like Houston. The baseball team had nothing against the city.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of the organization whatsoever. And I don't like rooting for them in any capacity. I'd rather put the plus 290 on Seattle, have a feel good story, have them climb back in this thing, which I think is very possible. I do like Houston's pitching. They can get hot. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to go with Seattle to leapfrog Houston. I'll put the 100 on the Mariners at plus 290.
Yeah, the Astros. I mean, I guess if I had to throw money on one of those two teams, I would probably put it on the Astros. Even though I hate taking negative odds, but I think they got a 5-game lead right now. It's hard for me to see them losing that. Now, I don't know how many games they have head to head. I mean, that would obviously be something I would look at, but I'd be surprised if the Astros blow a 5-game lead with 50 games left. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
No love for the Rangers, by the way. Rangers got the same record as the Mariners, and with those plus money, plus 525 odds.
Yeah, it's a good
squad. Won a World Series.
Yeah,
I was just looking at one stat that's interesting from a run differential standpoint. The Mariners are only plus 16. The Rangers are plus 72 in run differential. What that equates to throughout the whole rest of the season, I don't know, but just that'd probably be a juicy one to get a little bit better odds there. Than even if you're thinking to bet the Astros, screw it. Put the 100 on the Rangers maybe. Bigger payout for sure.
It would lead you. So here, let's just stay on that differential, right? That's the third highest differential in the American League. The Yankees are
1.
Yeah, they're 99. They're 99, right? And we're 60-49. Makes very little sense. The Detroit, they're 81 is their differential. They're running away with their division. Texas is third statistically in their division with a 72 run differential. Their runs allowed is 380, right? By far the lowest in the AL. They're the only team that hasn't given up over 400 runs.
And they just picked up a legitimate, I don't want to call him a stud pitcher, but they picked up a guy who's got a 3-year ERA. So
right. So I would say this, Tyler, and thanks for calling it out. Jeff, you got to lay 200 or 210 to win your 100, right? I'd rather put 100 on both the Mariners and the Rangers and light the 200 on fire and take my chances and cover my action.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. I'm with you guys. And Tyler, to your point about the Mariners offense struggling, I mean, that's why they went out and picked up what they think are 2 big bats, right? So
absolutely.
We'll see if that changes. And then also just back to the Yankees for a second. You guys talked about that they have a plus 99 run differential. That's the best in the American League. Their expected win-loss based on that is 64-45. So, the fact that they're only
a couple games
60-49. I mean, that's a big difference, So anyway, we'll see. And part of the reason why they've lost so many games is the Yankees, if you're a Yankee fan and you've been watching this team this year, they're extremely aggravating. They make so many base running mistakes. It's ridiculous. Their defense has been atrocious, but they have made some moves to improve that, thank God. But the biggest culprit has been their pen. Their pen has just been so bad. So the fact that they went and made those moves today hopefully improves that. So again, I didn't mean to bring this all the way back to the Yanks, but there you go.
Yes, you did.
You guys always do. But interesting point here too. 1-run games. So just a stat that's probably influential in who's leading each division. Mm-hmm. The Yankees have a losing record in one-run games. To your point, bullpen's probably given up a lead and whatnot. They're 16-18. The Blue Jays are 18-14. So there's your 4-game swing is pretty much right there. And then you have the Astros. When we talk about the West, like we were just talking, the Astros are 20-10 in one-run games. So winning anything close right now, which if you watch baseball, the law of averages, that's not going to always pan out. You're going to lose some of those one-run games eventually. And the Rangers have a losing record, very similar to the Yankees, 16-18, but the Mariners are 21-15, closer to what the Astros are doing. So,
it's interesting, right? The Mariners and the Astros are the teams that have the really good pitching, and they're winning those games. So,
yeah, exactly.
It
helps to have a good bullpen, I guess.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get everybody fired up who listens. That's a Mets fan or a Phillies fan. All right, let's jump over to NL East. I
think this is like the closest. Well, yeah. I mean, let's look at the odds. They're both minus 115, right? So, this is really a coin flip between these two teams.
Dead even in the loss column. Mets have a half-game lead or they're 62 versus Phillies 61. Both teams made moves. Both teams made the moves that helped their team, right? On paper, who's going to execute down the stretch?
It's a good question, man. Wow.
Philly's been there more recently from some success, so I would probably lean Phillies here.
I almost want to say the Mets, Tyler. I almost want to say the Mets, but I can't. I just can't. I can't make myself do that. So I'll say the Phillies. If I had to throw $100 at one of these two teams, I'd throw it on the Phillies. I think. So
I think I would as well. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of both of these teams are going to make the playoffs. It's just who's going to win the division, who's going to be in a wild card situation.
Yep.
Atlanta just shit all over themselves this year. That's kind of a head scratcher, but it does show you how important Fried was. I mean, maybe just in a locker room too, but not a very good starting rotation. The fact that Miami's sitting there in third is kind of fascinating.
It's funny, right?
Yeah.
But if you just do a quick scroll down, I mean, both of these teams would have to go into some devastating spiral to fall out of a wild card contention. And I think this is going to be a badass thing for baseball down the stretch. I mean, these are heated rivalries between these two. The cities, love battling, whether it's the Knicks and Sixers and Giants and Eagles. So, you've got that history there. So it's going to be fun down the stretch because this is going to be, I think, every other day or every third day, you're going to have somebody flip in the division. No?
Yeah. So let's real quick. So you said they're the Mets are 62-47. The Phillies are 61-47. Mets are 7-3 in their last 10. Phillies are 5-5. But the Mets have lost their last 3 games, whereas the Phillies have lost their last 1. Now, the interesting thing is we were talking about run differential. Mets are at plus 43. The Phillies are at plus 67. So, I mean, as far as that goes, the Phillies are far above the Mets. I don't know how many times they play each other moving forward. Remember, they've changed it now where these you don't have these interleague games. It used to be you played the teams in your division 18 times a year. I think now it's only, is it 12? I think you only play 12 times a year now. So, it'll be interesting to see if they have many games left because they may only have like 3 left over the rest of the season. So we'll see what happens, but that should be the most exciting and the closest race,
down
the stretch.
Yeah, so they play 7 more times. They play 7 more times. They got
right, wow.
they both got a home series. One's a 4-game stretch in the middle of September. The 8th through the 11th will be at the Phillies. That'll probably be a very, very, very big series, I would assume.
And then is that the last series, or do they play again in late September?
No, that's their last series against each other. And then coming home, the Phillies do have an easier schedule if you're looking at it outside of the Dodgers. They got the Royals, they got the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Marlins, the Twins. So you have 3 of those teams are sellers at the deadline. So you probably like the Phillies, back half of the season, maybe a little bit more schedule wise than the Mets.
Well,
then you got the Brewers and Cubs. By the way, the Brewers and Cubs are going to be a good one as well down the stretch.
I was just gonna say they're basically like, hold my bear if you think this is the best division, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the Cubs won like 8 straight, and I think picked up a game at one point in the season. Like, it's just crazy.
Milwaukee's 64-44. Cubs are 63-45, so 1 game back. Yet the Cubs are favored to win the division, minus 135 to the Brewers, plus 110. Just because we've been on the differential, Milwaukee's differential is plus 95. Chicago's is 113. And they're both almost identical in the division, 17-12 versus 17-11. So this again will be much like New York and Philadelphia, 2 rivals in division, going to slug it out. It looks like I don't see either one falling off. Both are stable. Cubs obviously were somewhat of a surprise, yet had a very good roster on paper. Maybe Epstein still knows what he's doing. I think since he's, fighting, it's good to see. And the Cardinals always have a way of Michael Myering their way through the season. They just seem to can't be killed on a regular basis, and somehow always are in the wild card picture. But I think from a division standpoint, it's the Cubs or Milwaukee, and just to gain some favor with the city of Chicago, because we've already had them on the pod too. I'm gonna lay it on the Cubs.
And the Cubs are plus 113. They have the best run differential in baseball. It's funny. I was talking about the expected win-loss earlier. Milwaukee's is 64-44, and the Cubs are 65-43. So basically, these teams are playing right where they're supposed to be. Their real record and their expected record is, they're not exactly the same, but they're pretty close. They're like a game apart. So should be fun. And Crow Armstrong, in a division race, it's good for baseball. Always good to have one of these young stars, in the spotlight. So we'll see what happens there.
All right.
I like the Cubs. I like the Cubs, though, by the way. I like the Cubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Last division here, no surprise. Dodgers minus 1,200 with a 3-game lead in San Diego, just mortgaging the future to try to reel them in here. 63-46 versus 60-49, plus 67, plus 32 in the division. Dodgers are 19-7. San Diego's 14-12. Last 10, Dodgers are 5-5, coming off a loss yesterday, and San Diego 6-4, winners of 5 straight. I think everybody else in that division sold, so it's a 2-horse race. San Francisco will be eligible for wild card conversations, but I don't think they have any chance for a division here.
No, I mean they did get rid of a lot of players too, so they were definitely in sell mode.
Yep.
I mean, so I think let me just look real quick here. Oh wow, I thought the Padres would be in better position. I mean, the Padres are in the 3rd slot when it comes to the wild card right now, so they would make the playoffs if the season ended today. But they only have a 3-game lead on Cincinnati. They got a 6-game lead on St. Louis. So it's probably going to be between them and Cincinnati as far as the wild card goes, because I do expect the Dodgers to win the division. The Dodgers have not been playing well lately, though. I mean, you mentioned they were 5-5, but before that, what did they win? Like 3 out of 12 or something like that?
Yeah.
They've had a really rough stretch, especially for a team that's paying $400 million for their roster. But I expect that they'll win the division despite all the moves the Padres made, and I think the Padres will get into the playoffs. So it'd be funny if they end up playing each other in the second round, right? If the Padres win, and then if the Dodgers have the 1 seed, the Padres would end up playing them in the second round of the playoffs. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the Dodgers get beat in a wild card setting before. Again, for the exercise, I'm not laying 1,200 to win 100. So I'm risking 100 to win 12.
Sure.
I'm essentially lighting that on fire. I'd rather burn the 100 on the +6 and try to return 600. Maybe it's an Ohtani injury. Maybe it's a Yamamoto injury. Who knows? San Diego's obviously a legit team with some serious firepower. They have 9 shortstops, which is a good way